guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to welcome you to the grand opening of the Chabad Center for Jewish Life and Learning. Not many of us live to witness a truly historical event, a defining moment in the life of a community.
It doesn't seem that long ago. It wasn't when we were here to do the groundbreaking, and here we are. I've never seen a building come along as quickly as this. Have you? It's just incredible.
The last time, as somebody mentioned, that a synagogue was built on Vancouver Island, President Abraham Lincoln was just taking the oath of office.
It is indeed an honor to be back with you some very short months later to stand here and celebrate with you the opening of this fine building in honor of this fine community.
On behalf of Chabad Lubavitch World Quarters, I want to extend to each of you congratulations and mazel tov.
The beginning of the spreading of Yiddishkeit and the strengthening of it for many, many years and generations to come. Mazel tov.
To ask the Verrier family, Limor, Dana, Joey, to join Rabbi Meir and Chani Kaplan, Rabbi Weinberg, Rabbi Krinsky, in cutting the ribbon to the Verrier Family Chabad Center for Jewish Life and Learning.
With the opening of the doors to the Center for Jewish Life and Learning here in Victoria, we are opening a new chapter in the history of Jewish life on Vancouver Island.
I would now like to call upon Rabbi Yosef Kesselman of Oak Park, Michigan, father of Chani Kaplan, to affix the mezuzah to the front door of our new building.
Amen.
I would like to ask the elders of our community to lead us in dedicating the Center of Jewish Life and Learning. Mr. Max Gross, Mr. Marvin Sharp, child survivor Ms. Dina Wolf, Mrs. Clara Helpern, child survivor Ms. Nikki Basuk, child survivor Mr. Gary Stanford, Holocaust survivor Zev Back, hidden child survivor Mrs. Margot Schneider, and child survivor Mr. David Katz. I now invite you to join me in entering the new lighthouse of Vancouver Island with joy and song led by Avram McCaggerty and his band.
Family to come here to cut the ribbon for the Lionel and Margot Schneider family show. Today we are very thankful to Hashem for the tremendous blessing that He poured upon us, Chani, myself, and our family, and upon us, all of us, the entire community. About 75 years ago, my great-grandfather, Rabbi Label Kaplan, was a rabbi in a small town in the Ukraine. In a sermon that he gave in the synagogue, he advised the people that they should continue to send their children to Jewish education and not the education that the communists offered. As a sentence for that sermon, he was exiled to Kazakhstan. He wasn't allowed to return back home. He ended his life on Yom Kippur, just over 70 years ago, when he was killed by local people with the silent support of the local police. During his time in Kazakhstan, he met one of the greatest rabbis in Ukraine of the time, who Rabbi Kinsky spoke about earlier, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Schneerson, who was exiled for similar reasons to the nearby town. Rabbi Schneerson was a genius and a spiritual leader, but he wasn't a man who was able to cook his own meals necessarily. So my great-grandfather, Rabbi Leibel Kaplan, didn't only speak to Rabbi Schneerson in learning, but he also provided for him Shabbat meals on Friday night during that time. His wife, Rebbetzin Chana Schneerson, who Rabbi Krinsky mentioned earlier, how she looked after her husband through the time he was in exile, told my family many decades later that she can't forget the taste of the kugel that Leibel Kaplan brought to her husband in those years in Kazakhstan. In 1990, my father, of blessed memory, opened a shul in Tzfat. It's still the biggest shul in Tzfat. As a young child then. And he dedicated a shul. My father, Rabbi Leibel Kaplan, the second Rabbi Leibel Kaplan, dedicated a shul in memory of Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Schneerson. Today is the 20th of Av, the Yortzeit of Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Schneerson, who ended his life in great suffering in Kazakhstan after he was exiled for preserving Jewish life under communism. Today, I am a great-grandson of Rabbi Leibel Kaplan, and it's a great privilege and honor to open the doors to the synagogue and the Center for Jewish Life and Learning, not under persecution, but under support of community. The mayor was with us, members of parliament, members of the legislature. I'm honored to be part of the revival of Jewish life, of after those dark times that our ancestors experienced just 7 decades ago. But how did this came about? With Rabbi Leibel Kaplan, Rabbi Schneerson would imagine flourishing Jewish life that we see today here, this didn't happen in a vacuum. At the same time, when Rabbi Schneerson and Rabbi Kaplan were exiled in Kazakhstan, the son of Rabbi Schneerson, our Rebbe, put the infrastructure for the revival of Jewish life. He didn't raise money, but he started to share his ideas. His inspiration and his love and kindness. His approach to life. Which brought the conception of the center that we are here today and is guiding us every day in our life. Today, we owe our appreciation to those individuals and families. But there's many other people who helped in different ways, in their own means, in their own ways, to make this happen. And while we're not going to be able to recognize each one of them, I want to thank you, each one of you, because Hani and I couldn't have been in a better community. Definitely 13 years ago when we arrived here, we didn't imagine that we're going to see the support and the love that we experienced over the last 13 years. So thank you, each one of you. We did prepare some token of appreciation for members of the community who made contribution for the center. Engraved in it, presented to, name, with great appreciation, grand opening of the Chabad Center for Jewish Life and Learning, August 24th, 2016, Victoria, BC, and the logo of Chabad of Vancouver Island. The tremendous support that we saw from this community in the last 3 years is something that we didn't believe is possible. The generosity of individuals and families that made this happen is something that is nothing short of a miracle.
He said, "We're going to include a mikvah, by the way." And I said, "Oh, that sounds good. What's a mikvah, by the way?"
The Rebbe foresaw all this, and in his wisdom created a cadre of shluchim who would go out to communities far and wide where Jews were losing their identity and in need of guidance.
God provides and will continue to provide the nourishment for our souls in a manner that is non-judgmental and does not require anything of you just to show up. An unforgettable moment in my life. I will never forget that meeting I had with the Rebbe.
Very little say. The person who should be getting the award is right here.
The event was based on what we saw and what we felt with the wonderful warmth and friendship of Hani and Mayor Kaplan and their work. We didn't believe it. We still hardly believe it. Like the people who prepared for our grandparents who came from so far away with nothing. It was incumbent upon us to be somehow participating in putting something in this community for the people who would come later.
And those who know Aleph must teach Aleph, and those who know what comes after Aleph must teach that too. It is an honor for me to teach the children in our community and to be able to dedicate a classroom with my husband Ron to our parents.
Accepted on behalf of my Hamburger family, of whom I'm the only survivor.
Rod Mayer explained to you that he's been in this building every day for the past year, and he's amazed that it was ready for today. I was in this building yesterday, and I'm amazed that it was ready for today. To sponsor the Childhood Education Center. and we will take the menorah back to my mother, who's in Toronto at age 95.
And I and our kids, Mia, Isabel, and Noah, want to wish a hearty mazel tov to the Vancouver Island Jewish community and to Rabbi Kaplan, who worked tirelessly to make this happen, along with an incredible group of volunteers and professionals. Yashar Koach.
I'd like to call upon Norman, Carlene, and the children to please accept those on behalf of the family.
Thank Rabbi Kaplan and Connie, and thank everybody for your support. Because all of us, we couldn't make this happen, and the blessings of God.
This gratitude goes to our Rabbi and Rebbitzin, Mary and Chani Kaplan, who have worked tirelessly for all Yidden on Vancouver Island, and have done us the favor and given us the opportunity to share in their vision the priceless work on Vancouver Island.
However, helping turn this center into a reality is wanting to make a difference in Jewish life on this island.
We will go now and celebrate, because there's a lot to celebrate today. Celebration of the community, all the simchas are going to be right in this, and we are opening now the door to all the blessings which we are going to share as a community. The Kestner family are now opening the Norman S. Kestner Community Hall here in the Chabad Center for Jewish Life and Learning.